Kia ora team. I don't even know what I'm about to say.
Oh, kia ora guys.
So, wait a sec. Kia ora team, and welcome to Outdoors with Ben and
Daz.
So where are we today, Daz?
Oh, we're in the Hunua Ranges. We're going to be doing a trail. It should take us about 3 hours, and it's called the Massey Kossi Loop Track.
So we're going to go on our way, and when we find some cool flora, we're going to point it out and say what it's good for. Let's go.
Cool. So we've come across this bush here, and these have leaves that are smooth on one side and they're white on the other side, and on the bottom side of these are quite nice and fluffy. These in Māori are called rangiora. Okay, and in Pākehā it's called bushman's toilet paper, because you can actually use it as a toilet paper. Trust me, I've tried. But what you don't want to do, I suppose, you probably want to grab the biggest leaf that you can, and possibly not the ones with the holes in the middle. Okay, so otherwise that's probably not going to give you what you need to absorb your mess. But if you get stranded in the bush and you don't have any loop paper, then this stuff is perfect for it. Okay, cool. Ciao.
So our next plant we're going to find is the Nicopalm. If we have a look through here, this is quite a young Nicopalm. It grows up, and then as it gets older, these ferns on the outside come away, and here's one that's fallen off. The great thing about these is they create a lovely little seat through here, so when Daz gets tired later in the tramp, he sits his bum in there and he holds on through here, and then we can grab on here and we can tow him as he gets tired. So we'll keep this one for later. What else, Dazzle?
Okay, so the thing about the Nicopalm, Nicopalm is the only native New Zealand palm, by the way. But the thing about them, they've got the stem that comes through here. If you pull this out, the tree will die. Okay, just like the cocoa, which is the cabbage tree, New Zealand cabbage tree as well. Way back when New Zealand was colonised, they used to pull the bottom out and slice up the bottom, because the bottom is quite tasty. Well, it's supposed to be quite tasty, like and they used to call it and put it on salad, and they used to feed it to the wealthy people. You know, they call it a millionaire salad. But the problem with that is that once you pull the heart out, the tree will die. Yeah, and you got no more Nico or cabbage tree.
And here is a more mature Nico. And you can see all these lines from where the palms came off. And there's one dangling there. So she's a big one. Alright, Daz, what have we found here?
Hey team, so this one here is this nice tall, lanky, skinny one here. It's called Horoweka in Māori, or lancewood in Pākehā. You can tell this tree because it goes straight up through, just like a lance, like its name says, and it has these leaves on the top. And if I take one off, actually I'll take one off, then you know these ones here, because they're quite sharp, quite strong, and you can rope these together. And once upon a time, some guy said that the Māori used to tie their shoelaces with them, but of course Māori didn't have shoelaces. But however, it kind of just goes to show the thickness and the strength of the stems that run through these leaves here. So these are Horoweka. Once upon a time, when they're nice and young and juvenile, used to be able to tie them into a knot, and then you come back 20 or so years later, and you can have a walking stick. You know, so, and that's what I used to have for the kaumatua. Cool. So look at this big boy up here. So you see the little ferns that are grown, or little flaxes that are grown inside it. They get carried up there by birds carrying seeds up there, and they create their own little clump of tree inside the big trees. And way back when they used to fell the big kauri trees in the remu, these big bushes of clumps used to fall down on top of the guys trying to cut the trees down, and that's why they inherited the name Widowmakers. These things will fall down.
Hi team, who's hungry? So this is supplejack, it's a vine, and you'll see it growing up all the trees, and there's some more here and all the way up here. So if you get some and it's still young and it hasn't gone too far, then this bit is quite fleshy, whereas the older stuff will get very woody and brittle and hard. So this growing tip, if we snap that off, you can see it's full of moisture, and if we peel off the outer, then you can eat it. It's not as good as like caramello chocolate, but if you're stuck in the bush and you don't want to kill a cabbage tree or a Nico, then this is your option. Cheers. What have you found here?
So it looks like a Widowmaker has fallen at some stage on the ground from one of the higher trees. So yeah, gives you an idea of the size of some of these things as they fall and how much damage they can do if they fell on you. Cool fact about the silver fern. So I picked up this one here, which is on the ground. So didn't have to kill one, but this one here. So when in the moonlight, when Māori were trying to navigate their way through a bush, they would put it on the ground face up like this, so the whiteness could reflect off the moon could reflect off the whiteness, so they could see their way through the bush, you know, in times where they were trying to navigate their way through. So yeah, I don't know how true that is, but it makes sense.